Good morning, all. I welcome you all for the fourth international. I welcome you all for the fourth technical session of the International E-Conference. I am Dr. Harshita K, Assistant Professor, SDM PG Center for Management Studies and Research, Mangaluru. I take this privilege of coordinating the fourth technical session on acceleration in edutech growth post-COVID. First and foremost, I deem it my privilege to accord a genial welcome to our resource person, Dr. Habib ur Rahman. Welcome to you, sir. I extend a hearty welcome to our beloved director, Dr. Seema S. Shenoy. Welcome to you, ma'am. I extend a pleasant welcome to our International E-Conference coordinator, Dr. Pramila S. Shetty. Welcome to you, ma'am. I extend a warm welcome to all the participants. Welcome to you all. A word of welcome also goes to the management members who have joined us virtually. Welcome to you all. I also welcome all the staff members and the students present. Today we have amongst us Dr. Habib ur Rahman as a resource person for the fourth technical session. Dr. Habib ur Rahman has pursued Doctor of Philosophy in Management and is currently working as Assistant Professor in the College of Business Administration, Kingdom University of Bahrain, and has more than decades of experience in higher education. He has gained fellowship in Advanced Higher Education, United Kingdom, in his contribution for global higher education. His unwavering talent, professionalism, and business acumen have led him to the threshold of success in his area of expertise. He is also a well-known, respected member of various academic institutions and contributed to enhance quality of education. Dr. Habib is a prolific speaker and advisor, actively participating in various non-governmental organization institutions and delivered public speech and training sessions in more than 100 programs. His contributions to national and international societies are highly impressive, that these will be esteemed constructive for the generations to come. He acted as an assessor and evaluator for various universities in India and Bahrain. Dr. Habib gained certification in FinTech from University of Cambridge, England, and successfully completed certificate from Teaching and Learning Academic Leadership Program, Leadership and Governance, and Embedded Employability from Advanced Higher Education, United Kingdom. He has published research papers in various reputed international journals, indexed in Scopus and Web of Science. His areas of research are multidisciplinary, which include organizational behavior, transactional analysis, human resource management, economic, fintech, and artificial intelligence. With this brief introduction, I would like to welcome you, sir. Now, I request our resource person, Dr. Habib ur Rahman, to take over. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your great words, and I hope today's sessions will certainly help the participants and the kind of knowledge, whatever I have, I would like to share with you with the help of resources, which I have few online tools and techniques, which is supporting online teachings and digitalized teaching rather. So I hope I can just share my screen.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, you can do it.
All right. Thank you. I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Dear colleagues, we thought to have a sessions. I hope you had a previous sessions and meaningful and resourceful sessions. So today's sessions will be technically connected, and I think all of us, the spread of COVID-19 and subsequent campus lockdown, which forced us, all the universities, in fact, and all the colleges across the world, to assess their digital offerings to students. So this has highlighted the need to accelerate needed digital transformation, and which added to existing challenges of reduced students retentions within higher education. So when traditional face-to-face lectures were replaced by online delivery at universities and colleges all over the world last year, some institution they changed the style of teaching altogether. They replaced lectures with more interactive forms of instructions using Microsoft Teams or Zoom, or even Google platforms or Blackboard, collaborative programs. So as social distancing restrictions relax in 2021, the later stage, even now, the institutions are again considering what to do in relation to face-to-face lecture. Indeed, they're planning for more sustainable alternatives. So when we think of more sustainable alternatives, there are a lot of institutions like McKinsey's, Thomson and Reuters, EY, UBS groups. They are studied and they made a lot of research to understand not only for the purpose of education, even for the purpose of business and other alternative options, what how the future human will be, what is their lifestyle, and what are the opportunities which are rising in our world with connected to the future human. So it is very important even for education. Colleagues, humanity is facing two important trends. Over the next 30 years, our members will grow and our average age will increase. And these demographic trends are taking place alongside huge structural shift. I hope you ever have fourth industrial revolutions, which is powered by automation and connectivity. Alongside like environmental credit crunch will dramatically alter the way the global economy works. So where it comes a technology, the technology can make people more productive for longer, but this will require them to have a right skill level and the right sort of educations. Here, our role will be very much important. The rote learning produces workers whose skills becomes redundant as soon as the textbook, whatever they memorized and studied, is out of date. So the research of these institutions on post-COVID educations found that the people will need to learn to be flexible and to challenge the status quo. So education will no longer end with an attainment of any sort of degrees or certificates or any kind of diploma. Rather, it becomes an ongoing process through training at work or formal, learning in a later in life, and even the educational merits of social media. So the central thread, what we can talk today, of these researchers, which state that the demographic shifts are the primary driver of change and the technology is the primary enabler of change. So we have a role in the second part of it. Since we are in education sectors and technology, since taking a very vital role to change, we are supposed to adopt these technology in our education. So since we know what is the future human looks like, we should know what kind of educations we can provide for these future humans. There are certain facts which we need to know. In a digitalized era where humans work and they compete with machine, unfortunately, we have to face this challenge. Or sometimes we can say, fortunately, we are facing this challenge, and learning will increasingly have to focus on flexibility, innovations, creativity, even interpersonal skills, and very importantly, mastery of technology. So the fourth industrial revolution certainly will compel, it already compelled us humans to learn in an areas that cannot be easily automated. And in addition to this, the technical skills and human learnings will increasingly focus on all these factors which I told you, the flexibility, creativities, innovations, and interpersonal skills and etc. Here exactly we are going to connect with there are certain new factors which we are much familiar with: artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, the robotic science, all those factors. So world is witnessing one of the emerging technologies in the form of artificial intelligence and machine learning that is beginning to alter educational tools and even institutions, and changing what the future might looks like in education. I think several universities across the world already implemented artificial intelligence and learnings into an education. But there are very critical presence, because the critical presence of teachers, which is irreplaceable. They cannot replace the teacher. Of course, there are certain research which proves or claim that future there will not be a human teacher. But the fact of the matter is that the presence of teacher is irreplaceable, not my words, based on the researcher words. And there will be many changes. This is very important. There will be many changes to a teacher's job and educational best practices. So we have no choice other than adopting new mechanism or new system, which are the current trends in the world, especially after after COVID-19. We are compelled to adopt certain technologies which are connected to this. So if I ask you these questions, of course, I'll give you a platform to answer this one. Will technology replace teachers? Let us, interact later with the help of Menti.com. Before that, I would like to, take you to one concept. I think some of you are already aware of this concept. Let me play this video for you, and let us discuss how this concept can be connected to in education, how this concept is important in terms of all this digital platform which we are talking to. So let me just play this video first, then let us go to the concept. I hope my video screen is visible. I'll
Yes,
just play
sir.
out the video. Thank you.
But there's no audio.
There's no audio.
Okay, no.
One second. I'll just reshare it. What about now?
Just play it.
No, no, sir. We can't hear the audio. Video is
There is
there.
just a background music,
Okay,
so you can
then
just
no
focus on
problem. Okay, then
the
no
video. Yeah.
problem. If you share screen through a tab, I think the audio will be visible. Audio
What,
will
ma'am?
be audible. If you share the screen through the tab, the audio will be also audible.
I'm just sharing it again.
Yeah, use tab. Third option is tab, no?
Oh, I'll see it's this one.
Yeah.
Is it fine now?
It is just opening. Okay, continue. Yes.
All right. So, the concept is simple. Anybody of you, you audience can take a chance now to give your comments. You have any words, any comments? Anybody would like to say something? Have you ever heard about fun theory? Yeah.
It's all about whenever any change comes, people like to adopt the change and they want to enjoy it. Initially,
Mhm.
people will move the way it goes. Okay, let us enjoy it. Even without understanding the pros and cons, we will do that. That is a psychology. That psychology is getting reflected very clearly over here. But
Mhm.
the other side of the thing, how long it will. See, people have the fun over changing because they are used to escalator. Now there is a change happening there. They like it, everybody, but there is a crowd. Every day the crowd also changes. So the
Mhm.
staircase usage also keeps on increasing, no doubt about it. But sticking to the change will be a question over a longer period.
That's true. That's true, sir. Actually, so thank you for your inputs. And the concept called,
Thank
as
you.
it's stated, and the fun theory. Some very clever people are using fun to solve social problems. So this approach is called fun theory, and it's tackling
There's
all
one
types of
comment.
social
There's
issues.
one
Yeah.
response in the chat box also, Habib sir. You can just see that.
Okay. Let me just read out. Okay. One of the colleagues shared it.
No, not that.
So
Not that.
it's like
Yes,
wonderful.
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
totally
yes.
agree with the fun should be always added to work. That then work itself will be fun, not work. Yeah, that's okay. Uh, it's a good opinion again. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for your feedback. Let me just give some kind of input, and let me just connect to fun. I don't know whether I'm going to connect you fun or some serious work, but certainly I'm not aware of any official fun theory in the field of learning, and it's no surprise that pleasure is motivating. I think this is a very important statement. The pleasure what we have, that motivates people, although what one person finds enjoyable may not be remotely engaging for next persons. Anyway, with this I'm just connecting a concept called a flipped approach, a flipped classroom. This is a successfully applied concept in my own university, where we adopted, and this is not that much of advanced approach. Traditionally we used to have it, but we are connecting this flipped approach into a digitalized classroom. So the flipped learning is a pedagogical approach in which the conventional notion of classroom based learning is inverted, so that students are introduced to the learning material before the class. You could see on screen there, with classroom time then being used to deepen understanding through the discussions with peers and problem solving activities facilitated by the teacher. So the traditional classroom, where understanding and remembering takes place inside the classroom, and the creating, evaluating, and applying, analyzing used to take place outside the classroom sessions, where it has been the other way around, like flipped approach. The remembering and understanding should be an outside the classroom, and rest of the things is inside the classrooms, where we need to have a great deal of engagement in classroom apart from one-sided lecture. So this structure we adopted in our institution, where each and every assessment, like assessment on foundation learning, where we get just take an audience responses and questions and everything. Of course, now we are using these digital tools. I'm going to show you now, demonstrate now, and pair and share, where we are using a lot of proactive activities which reflects on students, and in between we give a micro lecture, maybe 3 minutes lectures, at the maximum 5 minutes lecture whenever it is needed. And we make some kind of quiz where we bring this fun theory, so that students feel very much engaged. I try to apply enough. I don't know how far you will enjoy. But certainly this flipped approach is getting successful and getting popularity across the world, where a lot of universities, like all advanced universities, including where I have done my Cambridge fintech program, they applied this flipped approach and flipped classroom approach, where totally we are forced to engage all these kind of activities conducted by the universities. So assessment takes place in the later stage. So let me just ask you to move on to Mentimeter. So can you just type menti.com so that you can access to my resources? It's called menti.com. All of you can try now, menti.com. I'll share my screen. If yes, you can just tell me that you could able to access. Certainly it will ask you a code. I'm going to share you those code. Could you able to access menti.com? If so, the moment when you just access to menti.com, please type a code 5163842. 5163842. The code is on your screen now. On the top of it, just type www.menti.com. Great. You're answering my questions. Will technology replace the teacher? I've got 6 response as of now. We have equal responses, 3 each, 50-50. Let us see. Okay. So colleagues are answering. If you're using 2 different devices, you could see the result the same time. As of now, majority of my colleagues told no. Will technology replace teachers? Now it's equal again. Let's see. One more minutes, then we can just close it. All right, 23 of colleagues responded till now. It's 24 now. Okay, thank you so much for your response. I hope you could see my screen. I have one more questions. The meanwhile, as of now, among 27, 14 each, like there is an equal score, 50-50. So will technology replace teachers? Yes and no, both. And 28, we have 14 each scores. Let's go to the next one. How will learning and teaching delivery differ in the future? So you're supposed to, answer based on the options given to you. You can just type your answers. How will learning and teaching delivery differs in future? So yes, artificial intelligence is one. So any answers, you can just share it so that that will displayed on screen. So this concept is getting popularity. I think let's wait for rest of the colleagues to answer. I've got only one response and I've got 2. The argument reality, great. The blended learning, which are going to discuss. The digital, IoT, of course, getting popularity. Tech survey, machine learning, virtual classroom. Excellent. AI is getting majority of the responses. AI, which is on the central part of it. The 14 of my colleagues responded. YouTube learning, great. Any more? All right. I think most of you felt like, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and digital learning is getting popularity. Thank you, colleagues, for your response. So with this, I just move on to, the next part of, the session, where I'm just taking you, well, let me demonstrate this first, then I will show you how can we do this and without having any commercial payment. Now, I have one more Menti.com. Now you are supposed to change your code. You have to come back and change your code. Just apply 78934752. 78934752. Okay, colleagues are joining. Good. Twenty-three colleagues joined. Let's wait. Twenty-six of colleagues joined. If this is the number, we can start. And I'm just demonstrating for the sake of showing you how can we use this, not to test your GK at all. I know all of you are excellent. Not at all to test your GK. So let me just start my question. So if you're ready, I will just start. You just choose your options. We don't have much more time. I think I have some seconds which you have to click your answer. And as quickly you do it, your answers will be recorded. Based on that, you will be listed on screen. So let us start now. If all of you are ready, we have 28 colleagues joined. So let me just start this. Yeah, your questions on your screen now. Simple questions. Name of Union Higher Education Minister. We have an option there. 3 options. We have 11 seconds left. Quickly answer. 22 of my colleagues answered, and here is an answer. I think most of you, instead of Union Higher Education Minister, you asked a State Higher Education Minister. Anyway, it's okay. Let's see the result over there. Okay, the BTV is getting, I don't know, is it the person who is, BTV is the fastest one who responded, followed by Triple S and Shreyas. Anyway, all your result on your screen now. Let me just go to the next questions if you're ready. Okay. Who is the chairman of National Education Policy 2020, NEP? You can just type your answer. This is another mode of tools, which is descriptive. If your answer is similar, you correctly, your spelling is similar, you can get a correct answers. I think 12 of colleagues answered. 2, 3, 1, and it's time up. These are the answers. The correct answer is Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan. I think one colleague answered where his spelling went wrong. Anyway, let's see the score sheet. It's same. We'll move to the third options. The question is on your screen now. What is the piano stays experiment? You have three options: economic theory, fun theory, and theory of relativity. 2, 3, 1, and time's up. Wow. Majority of your answers correct, except 3. Let's see the scores card, whether BTV is still on top. The BTV. Okay, Akshay Pai is on the top now. Swaraba on second, BTV is went down. Ronaldo is getting his place in the fourth. So let us go to the next one. And question is on the screen. The fourth industrial revolution is powered by what? Automation and connectivity, traditional adoptions, global warming. Two, three, one, and it's time's up. 25 answered. I think 14 of you said correct answers. Automations and connectivity is all about fourth industrial revolutions. So let's see who gave the right answer. BTV has come back with a successful rating. Congratulations, BTV. Congratulations, Akshay Pai, for the runners up.
Thank you, sir.
What's your good name, sir?
I am Balakrishnan T.
Thank you for congratulations for participating. All the colleagues, it's not at all a competition, but I hope you enjoyed here. And this is exactly what we can adopt. I'll tell you how can we do this. Before that, let me take you to the next, options. One more tool which we can use. The future of education is a question. You can just give your, feedback there, from strongly disagree to strongly agree. I think colleagues can answer now. Yes, we're getting answers. You can just, just pull it up and press your options so that you can get all the classroom's response, what exactly students think with the help of this tool. I think only 3 of my colleagues answered. The 5 of you are answered now. I hope I'm not running out of time.
No, sir.
Okay. 19 of you answered, 20. That's good. Dr. Sonali, you have anything to ask? All right, 26 of my colleagues answered. Now you could see your result there. The future of educational measurement and outcomes. It's outcome-based education, not inputs. I think average more than 50% of you said yes, and each edutech supports sustainable developments. Again, there is a 3.3, and technology is not a relevant factor in education. I think we have negative results over there. So colleagues, this is how we can just use the techniques and etc. Even you could see some of the key elements of quality of education. You can just rank this. You can just prefer which is first, second, third, and fourth. Colleagues can do this now. Just give a rank that, whether which is important. You think learning environment is important, then it goes to the first rank. University of College Management of funding and organizations and teachers, as well as teaching methods, which you think like should be ranked accordingly. So according to your preferences, you can just give a rank. So we can go to the majority of the response and you get the total outcome. 3 of my colleagues answered. 6 of them unanswered now. majority of my colleagues answered. All right. So, colleagues, this is exactly the ranking goes down. So based on your responses, you can use these tools and you can answer. You can get an answer from your students. So to make them answer, to respond your questions, the students will go to menti.com and give their responses. So if you want to create these tools, you have to go to Mentimeter. We call it as Mentimeter. And the moment when you go to Mentimeter, you get all those types of screen. You are supposed to log in. You can just use your gmail.com, Gmail or any mails, whatever you have, to open this particular platform, and you have a lot of options there. Say for example, the moment when you go there, you can just click yourself as an educator and just log in, and then you have this new presentations where you can start your presentations. Just give title. Say for example, you can just give a subject there, and you have the screens like this, which gives you several options on your right screen. So for example, if I just add something, you have all these options over here. If you want to take feedback from students, you can have popular questions type, where cloud mode or multiple choice or open-ended questions, like a scores. Now scales you have done now. If you want to have a quiz, you have these two options. If you want to go for much more content of slides, you have these options there. Advanced questions, you can use this tool. So just click and raise your questions and type your questions and options. That's enough. And you have to just press this button called presence. So when you present this button, you will get a code generated by menti.com itself. That code need to be told to the students. So they can just type menti.com and type this what is it called, code which you wrote right now, and start your options there. So if they have multiple device, it would be good. Actually, they can answer and they can just view screen, or else directly you can make them to answer and show the answer. So I hope you enjoyed this entire activities, and certainly okay. There are few comments which I could read. Sonali Rafiq has said. Let me just read out what are the challenges faced by the lectures in today's era, and how to track if the students are actually learning the concept or not.
Dr.
Okay,
Habib,
just
Dr. Habib,
yes.
we can answer the questions later. You continue with the presentation. Those are the queries of the participants.
Definitely.
I think we'll allot some question answer handling session, 5 to 10 minutes we'll allot at the end.
Oh, definitely, ma'am. All right. So thank you. So, this is how it looks like, how to find the Mentimeter, and you have all these options. I may I ask you, like, what was your experience like? Have you enjoyed while doing this? Certainly your names, displayed on screen, you will be very much actively participated. I hope all of us have a very bad experience in online sessions. Like, there is no response from the students. They're not at all answering our questions. Like, as if sometimes you feel like you're talking to yourself, and no response at all. I think globally, my colleagues have the same experiences. So I have asked my colleagues in India, they have similar experience. In Europe, they have the same experiences, and of course, GCC. So, these all are the challenges which can be overcome with the help of this. This is one particular tool called menti.com. So, or I just repeat, menti.com is to answer to take students response or participants response. Mentimeter, we call it as Mentimeter. Mentimeter is for you to develop this questions and answers. So let's move on. Some of the sustainable alternatives, where I can show you some of the virtual learning platforms which I am associated with. I'll show you, because I think some of institutions is already having learning management system. So how can we effectively utilize this learning management system? Some of my colleagues told while asking the cloud questions, the blended learning approach. So this blended learning approach will have to be, this is a future, and we'll have to, find solution for this. We'll have to have a platform to conduct blended learning approaches, because the new educational policies certainly support us and demand us to conduct this kind of programs where even executives can come and join various types of program. I think, only few universities have this kind of program, like what we call it as evening college, where much of the, executives come and join. But now in a digitalized platform, you can have students all over the world. So sustainable alternatives is one such, is active learning. So what we do in active learning, we have three options I'm going to introduce you. Basically, this active learning can be facilitated in a variety of ways, such as allowing your students to create or share or, comments on the image or PowerPoint presentations or videos, audios. All these, online tools can be used. Some of you are, some of my colleagues might have doing this already. So typically done in learning management system or virtual learning environment, or in a program such as VoiceThread, where comments can be either audio or text based, and also allow others to comment. So this is typically based on us, solving a specific problem or providing a kind of reflections on the topics of the weeks of the day or something like that. So let me just take you to those platforms where I just experienced this kind of uh, options, where, let me just show you. I hope my screen is visible again.
Yes, sir.
This platform where I have completed my fintech program from University of Cambridge. I think they're using for all their programs, which is called Canvas. So their learning management system, what we call virtual learning management system, developed in this such a way that we have no choice other than taking all the programs. So initially they have program survey and they have program orientations on their screen, and I'll tell you, everything has been done digitally, and successfully they could able to do it, and they got many number of students across the world. So say for example, week 1 they have started with a kind of an instructions and everything. After that, they have, each and every week they have these many number of programs, which includes, like, a mini lecture, we call it. They have a short videos there, where some of the professors come and just brief the sessions, and after that we are supposed to give our reflections on the topic, where there are a couple of questions they raise, and we are supposed, it's not a questions, in fact we are supposed to give our reflections, where all the participants just give their reflections, and we are supposed to comment their own reflections. Even after that we have to hear one more lecture, then we are supposed to take quiz over there, we are supposed to complete our assignments on time. So this is the structural program in a week. The moment when we complete entire programs, we are moving to the next week. So and we are supposed to complete this within a prescribed time. So this program has got much successful, and they have gained a lot of, commercially of course they gain a lot of things, and even for from the students point of view, we could able to done it successfully without any difficulties. And they have well structured programs, and this has been developed by the University of Cambridge, including they take survey each and every week, they take feedbacks, online surveys and everything. So like you feel like you are on campus and you get the same experiences. So this is one such cases. We have one more case where I'm associated with the Higher Education Academy of United Kingdom, where I got fellowship. So this is their platform, which is called Brightspace. I think we can also subscribe this, not individual level. Institutions can subscribe this and use it. So in Brightspace, they have all this list of programs, whatever they have listed, and like they have week programs. So week 1, week 2, where they have all the materials which has been displayed over here. So all these materials which are displayed there, and meanwhile they have a short videos and everything, and all the templates including assessments which is listed, and they have resources also, which they have uploaded. Usually, what, as per my knowledge, even though we have learning management system or virtual learning experiences or platforms, we use this for the sake of attendance and a kind of sharing resources or something like that. I know it can be extended, because in a blended learning approach now, as I told, most of the universities are finding an alternative and sustainable solution for their students. So in my own universities, we have a learning management system which is already arranged for blended approach. The classrooms developed in such a way that students can either come to a campus or they can be at home or wherever they are, and they can have same experiences, same kind of course there will be little connectivity problem, in the sense the physical presence of lecture or their colleagues will not be there, but certainly the kind of resources and inputs will be same. So what are the tasks which these students are doing, the similar task which they are supposed to do, even we can make collaborations, the students on campus and off campus, they can collaborate and do work together, and they share it in a platform. I'll show you how can they work together and use online resources where they can just display their activities, whatever they have conducted. So these all activities, like you will be digitally engaged and connected, and certainly all the tools and techniques are there, and whatever alterations you do, which instructors like professors can view it. So what students have they are doing, and they cannot cheat us, they cannot even copy paste from Google, because Turnitin won't allow them to do that. The moment when they just copy and paste without thinking and without any brainstorming, if they do task for the sake of doing, Turnitin will catch them and immediately they will be penalized. So options are there where we can certainly use these kind of platform to virtually engage them on campus. So this is an active learning mode. I'm just briefly explaining to you. Unfortunately, I don't have time to completely detail explanations. So this is my university's platform. We have all the courses and everything, which has been, it's a similar platform like what we are using is Moodle. So Moodle is one kind of software where the platform where we can use similar options there, so students can weave their entire activities through this. So these are the platform we have. We have the Pubblepad, which students can connect it to this, and we have Fishbowl is another options, Mahara, VoiceThread. These all are the options we have. I'm not showing you. I don't have time to demonstrate all those things, but certainly you can just go to. I'm just going to share this PowerPoint so that you can just try log in and do by yourself. So the next option is a collaborative learning. The collaborative learning relies on engaging groups, group structures to support students working together while maximizing individual learning. For example, like this is what I applied in my classrooms. The forming creativity groups, like where students brainstorm solutions to a particular problems. And in this case, there may not be necessarily a correct answers to a problem. The idea is to get students to develop creative possible solution to potentially intangible problems, like a case study what we give in most of our MBA classrooms. So tools that supports this type of problems and answers, which would be a garden or a Padlet. So what we do here, if those who are using Zoom as well as MS Team, you can develop a what is that called breakout rooms. So it's an automatic system where you can just have this platform, even Zoom we can do this, and make a breakout rooms where students will be allotted to different groups. So with that groups, they can discuss and they can share their opinions, and this is what exactly they can there is no right or wrong answer. The idea is to just get the students to develop a creative possible solutions for a problems, for intangible problems. So how can we do this? One of the option is Padlet. Let me show you how the Padlet looks like. Okay, this is how the Padlet looks like. This is again the open access platform. You can just access to this. Just log into with your respective email ID, and it's a very simple process. It will not take much time, and you can develop your own Padlet there. So say for example, I'm just opening one particular Padlet. So this is how the Padlet looks like. I have developed one for this workshop especially. SDM, where is it? Okay, It's not visible. Anyway, it's simple. Like, you can just make a Padlet, just open any Padlet where just, look at this. Either you can double click on screen where you will get a new platform, and there you have an option. If you click here, you have lot of options to upload. Say, for example, if you want to upload any YouTube videos, you give a case study to them. They make their own studies, and they develop a lot of resources, and they make like a collage kind of things. They present it on a Padlet, and this will be visible for all the students. Like, if you make a group, and whatever they're doing on Padlets is visible to you. Since you are a faculties, you have a control over there. So you just share them your link there. So I'll just show you how. Say, for example, education. Just type education and search. You get a lot of topics which is connected to education, and just click there and publish. So it gets published over here. Similarly, you can create a lot of options, a lot of things. Just double click here, or else you can just press the plus symbols over here, and there are options. You can just link all the articles, and if you have developed anything, like, if you develop PowerPoint, you can just upload it, whatever you wanted to upload. If you have a discussions, you can upload audio recorder or camera. You can just open up your camera, and whatever you discuss will be uploaded there. So everything, like, you have a lot of options there to upload. So this will be a very interesting platform where most of the universities, they're using this kind of platform, and it looks very attractive and very creatively you can do this. Some of my students done this on the other day. So which you can do it quite successfully. So this platform is certainly a kind of a collaborative learning where students can collaborate each other and make their presentations well. So another one is called Mural, is one more types of digital platform where which can help you to make a lot of project presentations or project based learning. You have brainstorm ideas where your team can do and present over there, and you can give a case studies to the students where they can, you could see this, learn more about problems, where you can just, your students can discuss case studies and present there. You can make a design and evaluate the solutions, and all these kind of thoughts. Even the teamwork, where you can reflect on your team's process, like, you can make completely team based assignment and ask the students to do this. So colleagues, these are the some sort of online tools I have. I'll share you later, where we have menti.com, which I discussed. We have Kahoot, which is another important online tools. Some of you might be aware of this. Padlet.com, which we discussed, and Mural.com, Polls Everywhere, Giplet, and Lucidpark. There are n number of it. There are n number of platform, but we have to use it in the right place and the right time in order to just connect our subject. Even if you have a virtual management environment, you can subscribe this kind of online tools and connect to your virtual management system, where it will even help you to make an assessment. So sometime for classroom engagement or class participation, since we are having internal under our control, we can just make, if you are university, it will be much more easier. The entire assessment are under control. So you can just decide where exactly you want to allot marks. So this classroom engagement or class participation also considered to be one such, like, even for debate or discussion or presentations, we have a score. Similarly, we can make the students to engage. Even your on-site campus, it's not necessary that it should be an online classroom. Even we can use all those tools in our classrooms. If you are having apart from blended, if you're having a face-to-face lecture, we can use these tools to make them engage in classrooms. And finally, certainly in future, learning will not be confined solely to the classroom, as the technical development make delivery possible through multiple channels, and new enabling technologies will broaden the access to learning and improve its quality of scale, and also changes in how we learn open numerous investment opportunities, especially for educational technology companies, and enable them and also enabling technologies, which is linking artificial intelligence, big data, and machine learning. Certainly, we have much more scopes to do this, especially a lot of investment taking place from the private sector in order to, and of course, the new educational policy is supporting these types of investment from all over the world to enable educations much more broader instead of confining within a district or something like that. So by 2030, colleagues, we expect artificial intelligence adoptions to broaden out, from the early movers, such as China and United States. Already they have started these technologies, and it's a lot of things are there in emerging markets. So human will not be able to compete with artificial intelligence in analyzing and processing the data, but they can make a better use of information that results from artificial intelligence. This is exactly what we can do. So this will feed automation and in turn increase the demand for specialists to operate complex systems. So humans also have a clear advantages in other parts of the job market, especially those that depends on soft and interpersonal skills. So people generate enthusiasm, be it among the workers or between the workers, and even the customers, and especially the crucially can understand the different culture. So we expect human touch to remain for a success factor in the service industries, including leisure. So while the robot may welcome the guests or serve food in a restaurant, but majority of the tourists will likely to still prefer their activity guided to be human. And same principle apply in educations. Even though the robot and all these online platforms and artificial intelligence, virtual learning platforms and everything are going to come, but without human touch, it will not be a success one. So certainly human is needed because of psychologically we are connected to human beings. So that will enhance educations much more broader and much more better. But however, since we are living in an outcome based educations, this is what the sentence I just wanted to say before I conclude. The future of education's measurement is outcome, not input. So since we are in an outcome based educations, certainly we need to have these platforms, and future human is expecting a different future educations where we need to connect this digitalized educations, where blended approach, the blended learning is already implemented, and people are expecting us to have a platform which support them to have this kind of educational environment and teaching methodology, so that we can connect it to this competitive era. And of course, being a teacher, we will not be out of date. We will be required resources for today's education. So certainly we proved ourselves during COVID-19 that we can adopt digital. We can, all types of generations, thanks to senior professors, they also successfully adopted this and proved that we could able to adopt any types of technology with the given resources. So with this note, I just conclude my part of presentations. If you have any queries or any discussions, it's open to you all.
Thank you, sir. The session was very apt for all the participants who have been teachers as well as for students. And that is why we have a fleet of questions been pouring in the chat box. But as we are running short of time, all these questions will be mailed to the resource person, and the response to it will be mailed back to the participants. And sir, with your permission, as a token of appreciation and gratitude, we would like to play a citation video, sir.
Dr. Habib, can you stop sharing the screen? Okay, thank you, thank you.
On behalf of SDM College of Business Management Postgraduate Center for Management Studies and Research, Mangalore, we take this opportunity to acknowledge Dr. Habib U.R. Rahman, with pride for sharing your valuable thoughts on acceleration in edutech growth, post-COVID. On 9th of October 2021 and enlightening young minds with your words of wisdom. Your virtual presence and intellect helped magnify our event in the most meaningful way. Thank you, Dr. Habib U.R. Rahman, who is working as Assistant Professor, College of Business Administration, Kingdom University, Bahrain. We wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. It was very innovative, the mode of expressing gratitude. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Participants, kindly note that the feedback link will be posted in the chat box in Google Meet as well as in YouTube. Okay, and now I take this privilege of proposing the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank our resource person for this session, Dr. Habib-ur-Rahman, who has graced the occasion with his inspiring words. Sir, truly we are enlightened with your words of wisdom, and we are highly appreciative of your knowledge in use of technology. It was a really informative session to all of us, sir. Thank you so much. And my heartfelt thanks goes to our director, Dr. Seema Shenoy, for her constant support and guidance. Thank you, ma'am. I would also like to thank the conference coordinator, Dr. Pramila Yeshetty. Thank you, ma'am. And I would like to take this opportunity to place on records our hearty thanks to all the delegates and the invitees. And thank you, one and all.